Even if you've just started intermittent fasting, you know the gist that you're not supposed to eat during certain times of the day and then you're supposed to eat during others. But the devil's in the details, because if you ignore your eating window, you're not going to see the weight loss results that you're looking for with intermittent fasting. So today I'm sharing a really simple intermittent fasting food pyramid for weight loss to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness goals. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's nutrition human performance. And this food pyramid, which looks like this, is actually adapted from my complete intermittent fasting bundle that has helped thousands of men and women around the world. And as you'll see, the base of this food pyramid, the thing that you need to be considering the most when it comes to intermittent fasting is the protein section. Protein needs to be eaten at every single meal, every time you eat within your eating window in order to achieve your weight loss goals. This really cannot be skipped. This is why I put this at the bottom of the food pyramid. And you want to make sure the vast majority of the proteins that you're choosing are from high quality sources like Greek yogurt, eggs, cottage cheese, fish, beef, lamb, chicken, pork, whey protein powder, like my zero sugar whey protein powder. If you're plant-based, something like tempeh. Getting enough protein within your eating window helps prevent muscle loss and improve satiety and prevent sugar cravings. But it's also needed to help prevent bone loss during the weight loss process. You don't want to be getting osteoporosis after experiencing weight loss. It is also important if you have a fitness goal in mind, or if you just want to be a little bit more toned, or even just maintain what you have. If you're not getting enough, you're going to lose all of those benefits. You're going to feel more hungry, you're going to crave sugar, and it's going to work against your weight loss goals. And I can almost guarantee you're probably not getting nearly close to enough in order to see all of these benefits. And if you don't believe me, check out my video on how much protein you need for a weight loss goal right up here. This is why all of my meals within the complete intermittent fasting bundle are centered around high quality sources of protein. Whether it be smoothies, eggs, salads, dinner, whatever it is, there needs to be adequate protein in there. Okay, now we're moving on to the next portion of the intermittent fasting food pyramid, and that's liquids and electrolytes. This really should be the second thing that you're thinking of. First, getting adequate protein, and then getting enough liquids and electrolytes. So liquids can be kind of a broad category. Of course, water is in there, and that really should be most of what you're having. Even if it's sparkling water, you can have that. But this could be like some herbal teas or unsweetened almond milk. It's just important to be replacing the liquid that you lost during the fast. Because when we're fasting, insulin level goes down and it causes the body to lose a lot of water, but also a lot of sodium. So this is where electrolytes comes into play. If you're not getting the electrolytes in addition to the liquids, then you're likely going to experience symptoms of headache, muscle ache, low energy, and even constipation. So to avoid that, you want to make sure you're getting adequate electrolytes as well as zero sugar liquids. So in this category, we're not talking about things like fruit juices or milk or oat milk. Big important note. You can aim for roughly half your body weight in ounces for liquids, but you'll probably need more if you're more active. As for electrolytes, it highly depends on the person. I do have a blog post that goes a little bit into this. I'll have linked down description below, but I also go a lot more into detail on that within my complete intermittent fasting bundle, which has more of these step-by-step details on how to use intermittent fasting to achieve your goals. Okay, now we go on to the next category, which are the non-starchy veggies, herbs, seasoning, spices, and veggie-based sauces. This category of food does not spike our storing hormone insulin. And one of the main benefits of intermittent fasting from a weight loss perspective is that you get these periods of time where storing hormone insulin is not raised, so the body can be in a fat burning state. To help double down on those perks, you want to make sure that you're not overly spiking insulin during the eating window, which is where these non-starchy veggies can come into play. So onions, garlic, broccoli, leafy greens, cauliflower, zucchini, asparagus, spinach. There's such a plethora of non-starchy veggies that you can use. But on top of this, you want to make sure you're also adding in flavorings, which is why I added in herbs and veggie-based sauces to this category. Now, I know technically tomato is a fruit, but just like for convenience sake, we're going to include it into this veggie-based sauce section, because for the case of insulin, it's still going to be a low insulin spiking food anyway. So using herbs like basil or mint and making zero sugar veggie-based sauces or veggie-based sauces like tomato sauce or curries can really add so much flavor and is so important for preventing food fatigue during your weight loss journey. Okay, now the next category are fats. Primarily, we want to be focusing on whole fats, so things like avocado, chia seeds, hemp seeds, nuts, nut butters, and then also the natural fats found in things like animal-based proteins and dairy products. Oils and butter are really great for cooking baking or adding flavor. So opting for higher quality oils and butters like grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee, olive oil, coconut oil, and tallow are all great options. And then even some flours that are made from pure fat sources are great to use as well. So like almond flour and coconut flour are the main ones. These are not highly insulin spiking and they're a great alternative from using like breadcrumbs in meals. Eating high quality fats helps to promote satiety, helps to prevent sugar cravings, but it also is an important source for providing those fat soluble vitamins. You can't really get fat soluble vitamins without eating fat. So think of things like vitamin A, D, E, and K. And since we're not eating a lot of those highly insulin spiking carbohydrates, you need to be getting fuel from something, and that's where the fats can come into play. Granted, it shouldn't be more than the protein component. You want to make sure that protein is still the thing that you're focused on, and then you're also adding in fats for satiety purposes. But the vast majority of our satiety should be coming from protein. And if you want a lot of different meal ideas, I have over 100 recipes in my complete intermittent fasting bundle that follows this exact format with delicious recipes like smoothies and salads and dinners that are really simple to make and super delicious. So if you guys want to check out my complete intermittent fasting bundle with the step-by-step details, you can find it linked down in the description below, but you can also find it on my website at autumnlnutrition.com/shop. Okay, the next category we're going into are the low sugar fruits. Things like raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, even some blueberries can be useful. Nectarines, peaches, apricots. These tend to be higher in fiber and lower in sugar, so they're not going to have a huge spike on the storing hormone insulin. It also adds some additional type of flavors to your meals and a hint of sweetness as well. I like to use low sugar fruits in smoothies or on Greek yogurt bowls or cottage cheese bowls, or even just having it paired alongside my lunch. Just make sure you're sticking to whole fruit, not juiced or dried. Okay, right at the tip of the category before we move into like the if tolerated section is coffee and tea. Coffee and tea are both great natural appetite suppressants, assuming that you're using the caffeinated options. But the reason why I put it all the way at the tip is because you don't want to be relying on it all day. 1 to 2 cups per day maximum is a good rule of thumb. But if you have too much caffeine, it can throw off the circadian rhythm, make it really hard to sleep, and poor sleep is directly related to weight gain. So we want to make sure we're also optimizing for sleep as well. Now you can have black or unsweetened coffee or tea. There are some things that you can actually add to your coffee or tea and still be in a fasted state. So if you guys want that video, it'll be linked right up here. Okay, so everything we've covered so far is the general base for pretty much most people. I'd say like 90% of people, but there are some things that can be added in if tolerated, depending on the person. So the things we're talking about are like whole milk, higher sugar fruits, some starches, and some zero sugar sweeteners. Now, whole milk does have lactose in it, which obviously if you're lactose intolerant is not something that you want to be having. But also if you're very carb sensitive, this could be too much sugar for you, at least at this point. Now, if you aren't carb sensitive or you're not lactose intolerant, you can probably get by with about 1 cup a day and be perfectly fine. Now, if you're like, what is carb sensitivity? I have a free quiz that you can take to help determine if you might be carb sensitive. I'll have it linked down in the description below as well. Now, the higher sugar fruits include things like bananas or pineapples or mangoes or papayas. Pineapple is kind of like medium, but all of these higher sugar fruits in their whole fruit form, meaning not dried or juiced, those are just generally off limits for most people, are going to be much higher in sugar and much lower in fiber. So as compared to the low sugar fruits that are lower in sugar and higher in fiber, these high sugar fruits are going to have a lot more sugar and be not as supportive of a weight loss goal, especially if you are carb sensitive. Now, if you're more active or if you're not carb sensitive, you can likely include some of these in small amounts, like a half a banana or half a cup of pineapple or like a half cup or quarter cup of mango. But if you are carb sensitive, then this is something that you really want to watch out for because this sugar content can really start to add up. And then we get into the category of starches. So we're talking about like whole, higher quality starches that are more nutrient dense. These are things like beans, corn, lentils, and sweet potatoes. If you are very carb sensitive, then for now at least, you'll want to skip these. But even if you're slightly carb sensitive, you can likely include some of these in smaller amounts, just not throughout the day, and still achieve your weight loss goals. Typically about a half cup serving at one meal is a good place to start. But if you aren't carb sensitive and you are very active, or if you're an athlete, then you have a lot more flexibility with this amount. Still shouldn't take up the vast majority of your meal, but there is more flexibility. I also go into how to incorporate starches or how to not incorporate starches depending on your goals in the complete intermittent fasting bundle if you want more details. As for the zero sugar sweeteners, the natural options are what I do recommend, like stevia or monk fruit. In small amounts, pretty much everybody can incorporate these. They don't really have an insulin response, so they are fine for most people. Obviously, I have a personal preference for monk fruit. I think it tastes better. That's why I use it in my zero sugar protein powder. But stevia can also be used. You just don't want to be relying on these at every single meal because then it'll shift your preference toward sweet things. But in small amounts, like in your protein powder in a smoothie, is perfectly fine. So if you are new to intermittent fasting, or if you're not seeing the results that you're looking for with intermittent fasting, make sure you check out the complete intermittent fasting bundle with the step-by-step details, over 100 recipes, the meal plans, the workouts to help you achieve your weight loss and wellness goals. I'll have it linked down in the description below for you guys. And there definitely can be room for treats. You just want to make sure you're doing it in the right way. So if you are going to incorporate treats, make sure you check out this video next for exactly how to do that. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.